Hey, this is Dale Tinsley. You're listening to the Connect podcast. Our purpose is to guide you to connect with yourself so that you can connect with others and live a life of meaning and value. Continuing the series, Connecting with Ourselves. Hey, what's up, Connect family? Hope this message finds you well. Super excited to share what you're about to see. My first live Connect event, Synchronicity. Got into some good stuff. You know, up until this point, every episode that you've seen is really just one puzzle piece at a time to the Connect concept. And in the live event, really was able to piece a lot of it together and give you guys an overall broad view of Connect. Thanks for watching. God bless. Life. What an amazing adventure. Full of incredible experiences. Maybe it's a tragic drama. Full of endless suffering. Maybe it's a little bit of both. Maybe it's a sliding scale that depends on the awareness, the attention, and the effort that we each put into our lives. Welcome to the Connect Wellness event, Synchronicity. Let's get warmed up. We're going to start with a mental exercise. So there's going to be some crowd participation. I'm going to sit down and join y'all. It's going to be similar to a guided meditation. So I want everybody to take a deep breath and exhale out. Deep breath in and exhale out. And close your eyes and just relax and listen to my voice. I'm going to paint the mental picture for you. Okay? So just stay with me. Listen to my voice. I'm going to paint the picture. I want you to imagine you're outside and it's a beautiful day, similar to what we have here in New Orleans today. It's sunny. It's a beautiful breeze that you can feel. You feel energized. We're actually at a racetrack. Car races. You're looking around, you see the track, you see the beautiful day. This exercise is about perspective. So for this exercise, we're going to start off with the perspective of the owner of the race team. If you're a female, imagine yourself how you would be dressed if you're the owner of this race team. You look down, you can look at your shoes, maybe something comfortable, something sharp. You're a guy, you look down at your watch. You're the owner of this team, you probably got a pretty nice watch. A couple nice rings. Now we're going to take a walk down to the pit. You're looking around. You feel that energy that this owner is feeling. He's responsible. He's got notoriety. He's respected. Or if it's a female, she's respected. She feels empowered. She's got a lot of responsibility. We're walking down towards the pit. As we approach, We can see the pit crew working. We see our driver standing next to the race car. And for this exercise, this is a warm-up day. It's a practice day. The team's out there working, getting synchronized for race day. So everybody's sharp, everybody's on point, everybody's ready to do their part for this team. We start walking over. We see the driver. We're going to go over and talk to the driver. As we're approaching, we see the driver. We make eye contact with the driver. The driver's looking at us. If you're a female, she's a female driver. You approach the driver and you extend your hand to shake the hand of the driver. In that moment that you shake the hand of that driver, you feel their grip, you feel their energy, their excitement, and the respect that they have for you as the owner. Now we're going to shift perspectives. We're going to go into the perspective of the driver in that handshake. In that handshake, you are now the driver, wearing the leather glove, with the helmet on, excited to get in the car and see what the engineers and the tuning and the pit crew has done to the car recently to get you ready for race day. Everybody working together, the team synchronized for the common goal of getting first place and winning the next race. You finish the handshake with the owner. You can feel the suit's a little tight. It's a little snug, but it's comfortable. You give them the head nod. You release hands. And you turn around and you're now facing the car. It's about time to jump into the car and take it for a lap or two. You hop in the car and you are now sitting in the race car. You're looking around, you can see the gauges. You pop the wheel in, put your seatbelt on, and you start the car up. You can feel the power of the car. It's exhilarating. And that's why you're a race car driver. That's your part in this team. And you're pretty vested. You're focused, you're laser focused, you're driven. You take some risk. And your life is on the line for this team and for the goal of winning. You pop the clutch, you put the car in first gear, and you take off. You hit the clutch again, you go into second gear, and you can feel the energy of the car, the power of the car. You go into third gear, you're out of the pit. You start making your way around the track. You can hear the spotter talking to you. You can hear some of the chatter from the pit crew talking to you, asking you how the car feels. You got your hands on the wheel. You feel the power. The car feels pretty good. Feels like it needs to feel, not too loose, not too tight. You start to feel synchronized with the car. You're nodding your head saying, yeah, this feels good. You let them know that. Pop the clutch, you go into fourth gear. You're speeding up now. Eyes start to dilate a little bit. Heart rate starts to go up, but you're used to this. But you know it's go time, right? This is what you do. You're a professional race car driver. Pop the clutch, go into fifth gear. The hair on the back of your neck starts to stand up. You're speeding up, going around the turn, hit the straightaway. Pop the clutch again, you're in sixth gear now. And now you start to hyper-focus and zone in. As you're hitting 180 miles an hour, it's like you're going 10 or 15 miles an hour because you're so zoned in and focused on what you're doing. And you find that flow state. You find that flow state of exactly where you need to be and you know in your heart you're doing exactly what you should be doing. Purpose and passion. You feel that energy, you're flowing in the moment, and the wheel is just easy to hold in your hands. You get a call from the spotter saying, okay, bring her in, bring her in. You ease off the gas a little bit, ease off the gas a little bit, drop it down to fifth, preparing yourself to go into the pit. Still feeling the energy of the car, the synchronicity, nodding your head, knowing everything feels good, feels great. You feel well prepared for the race coming up. As you're slowing down, you see the pit lane. So you slow down, you go into fourth, into third, you're downshifting. Now you're on pit road. You look ahead, you see them put the sign out where you need to pit. I want you to pause right there for a second and visualize the pit crew of what they're doing. They're anticipating you. They're communicating within themselves. Each person in that pit crew has a very specific job of what they're going to do. Got the jack man, you got the guy with the fuel, you got the guys that are going to grab the tires. They have practice and practice and practice because that is their part in that team to execute flawlessly. You know that. Now we pick it back up. You continue down. You're slowing down. You're preparing yourself to make the stop. You pull in, you make the stop. Everybody jumps into action like a bunch of ants in perfect synchronicities, like bees just floating around the car, doing what they need to do. You take a breath. You're sitting in that car just relaxed. The pit crew does what they need to do. They're moving, but they're moving. Oh, but there's an error. One of the pit guys fumbled the tire. The tire went off to the side. You look over, you start shaking your head. You're sitting in the car knowing that now we've lost valuable time. Tire gets fumbled. They grab another tire. They put the tire on. The jackman drops the car. You pop the clutch, hit it in first, and you're off, peeling out. Frustrated at this point. You're frustrated and a little thankful that it's just practice. You take off, pop the clutch, second gear, spinning the tires, aggravated about what just happened. Take off, third gear. You're back on the track. Now you're around the track. You're frustrated and you let it be known to the spotter and to the pit crew. Everybody has radios on. Everybody's communicating and they can all hear you in your frustration. You continue to drive. Now we're going to shift our perspective and take the perspective of the tire man who made the fumble. Shift your perspective from the driver to the tire man that made the fumble. You're behind the wall. All the equipment's there. You're shaking your head. You're in a little bit of disgust. You're a professional. That's not what you do. You execute. You grab the tire, you put the tire on, the other guy hits it. It's synchronized. Errors don't happen. You beat yourself up a little bit over it because that's self-accountability and ownership. One of the guys comes over and taps you, kind of gives you a little, hey man, it's all right on the shoulder, you know. You're shaking your head, you're in disgust. But you got to move on from that. In that moment, that person owned that reality. In that moment, that person owned that reality, dealt with it, and moved forward. Stay in the perspective with me. Stay in the perspective. But look at him from the outside and ask yourself this. What if that person did it on purpose? What if that pit guy, the tire guy, the professional who executes flawlessly all the time, like clockwork, what if he did it on purpose? Would that change things? What if he meant to do it? Would that change things with the team? The way that the team looks at him? We're still in the perspective of the tire guy who's responsible for that part of the work in the pit crew. We're now walking over. We're going to the showers where everybody gets cleaned up. That's where the guys go to shower off after a hard day's work. We open the door, we start walking in. We notice nobody's in there. We're looking around. Nobody's in the locker room. We walk over to the mirror just to have a look at ourselves. Now open your eyes. Is that person looking back at you? Is that the saboteur? Is that the sabotager of our own lives? Are we that person? That exercise is meant to just show us some different perspectives and ultimately for me to get into awareness and self-accountability and how important they are in our lives. The different perspectives that we went through as I was explaining them, and hopefully you were envisioning them and committed to the exercise. I was bringing your awareness to different things. Now you're aware of it, you can see it. You can understand it. Maybe you didn't notice it before. And the other piece of awareness is self-accountability. If you have no self-accountability, then the awareness has no grounding. Yeah, okay, I'm aware of it, and then you dismiss it. I'm not self-accountable, so I don't really care. I just dismiss it. No big deal. That's the pinnacle to all of it. So we'll start off. That saboteur is an introduction to the ego, and the ego within us that we all have, whether you're aware of it or you're not, we all have an ego. And it is the saboteur in our own lives on how we react to things, how we process things, our mental operating system of what motivates us, what we feed into. So understanding the ego, that's the key. Being able to see it within yourself ultimately, because we can see it in other people easy. Well, that person does this, they react this way, they've got a bad attitude, they're negative, they're cocky, they have bad energy. But ultimately, those are all observations that are character traits. But when we look deeper at it and we try to understand it, why is this person so hateful? Why is this person so jealous? And we share those same things within ourselves. That's the reality of it. So seeing the ego in other people is easy. But to break through and to connect to these people and To gain some different perspective, we have to get to the understanding of the why. Well, why are they? Instead of dismissing them, because it's the easy thing to do. It takes more effort to dig in to the understanding and ultimately to understand ourselves. If we can't understand ourselves, how can we understand anyone else? If we don't see our own ego and have self-accountability and have the awareness, how can we understand anyone else and be the best version of ourselves for them and for ourselves and try and set the example? I said a second ago, the mental operating system. The mental operating system is like your go-to. Well, if I call Bobby 7 out of 10 times, he's going to be in a good mood. So you would say, well, Bobby's mental operating system is he's optimistic. He's hopeful. He prays. He's active. He's social. Okay, he's got a positive mental operating system. When you dig into the mental operating system, ultimately, it's thought and feeling. So, are you going off of feeling or are you using thought? And that, understanding those two things is going to solidify your mental operating system. For us to really start to build our foundation, are we going to be reactionary or are we going to pause and think about things and react with our minds instead of the reactionary? Well, I felt like this, so I did this. And then we think that's justified because somebody made me feel a certain way. It's justified that I hammer down on them harder. And I'd bet the one thing that we didn't do is try to understand why they did what they did and put some thought into that to get past the surface. And look, I get it. This is tough work. I said it at the very beginning of this journey, episode 1. I said, this is the toughest work you will ever do, but it is the most rewarding. And for you guys here, I'm sure you're going to be triggered. You know, it's part of it. The ego's like, that's not me. What are you talking about? I'm not jealous. I'm my mental operating system, I'm always happy. I'm in a great mood all the time. Okay. I'll believe whatever you tell me. But like a friend of mine told me lately, the work that you're doing, what fruit is it bearing? What are the fruits of your labor? What are those fruits? The mindset, the mental operating system that we consistently operate in pushes everything out. Every relationship that we have, every action that we take, every interaction that we have with our kids, with our animals, how we respond to things. Learning to see the difference between those two things. We started with the ego, now thought and feeling. Ultimately, we can get to a point where we can see the ego clearly in other people, try to dig into it, understand it, and then see it within ourselves and be accountable. And everybody has it. This isn't something that, 50% of the people are born with. No, we all have it within us. And if there's any doubt to that, we won't do it right here, but I'll challenge you to this. Sit inside. Well, maybe you experienced it as I was going through that. The mental exercise that we started with. Close your eyes and just try and sit there and think of nothing. Just try and sit there and think of nothing. And see See what voices come at you. See what thoughts come at you. You don't believe me about the ego? Try that. I guarantee you, if you haven't done the work to uncover and understand these layers and dynamics, it'll be chatter, 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 chatter. Well, I'm here to tell you, you are not that chatter. That chatter is the ego that never shuts up until finally he gets exhausted and he finds silence. Who we truly are, our essence is our consciousness. It's our spirit. The spirit that got dropped into Mike Scott. The spirit that got dropped into Eddie. That's who we are. We're that spirit form in this meat sack. Conditioned by the world for our ego to run the show. The comparison game, the judgment, the hatefulness. It's not who we are. The connect work is about seeing the ego clearly and refining ourselves, mind, body, spirit, to the point that you pull the power from the ego. And now you're that golden light. You're that golden light. And we have moments of that. We have moments of that, and I'll give you an example to bring it home hard, a real example that you'll understand. When the best moments, if I were to ask you right now, what were the best moments in your life? The birth of a child, you executed something, you were working towards a goal, and it happened. When Sabrina graduated and became an RN, and I was at her party and gave her a hug and was emotional because I was proud of her. In those moments, when you're hugging, do you say, hey, I just got that new Ferrari? Or, hey, you know, I just got a new diamond ring. Funny how that those things aren't said. They're not said because they don't matter. What matters is the connection that you have in that moment, in that real, pure, raw, authentic moment where your authentic self and your spirit, that person's authentic self and their spirit come together and share gratitude, humility, and love. It's not the titles, the material things. At the end of the day, when this ride is over, we'll reflect back and we'll look at the relationships. We'll look at the impact that we had on people and that people had on us. You won't think about any of the material things because they all turn to dust and can be gone in the blink of an eye. Resistance, struggle, and suffering. Awareness, self-accountability, thought and feeling, the ego, all in there. Resistance, struggle, and suffering. Where does the resistance come from? If I say, hey, let's go try something new, and you have this feeling, I don't want to do that. You feel apprehensive, right? I don't want to go try that. Where does that resistance come from?
Fear.
Fear. Thank you for crowd participation.
Ultimately, the ego, because the ego is based in fear, I guess.
Resistance, and it's all how we frame it. The resistance that we feel internally is straight from the ego. And then what happens? There's struggle. Because I told him I was going to go, but I really don't want to go. Then instead of being self-accountable and saying, in your authenticity, look, I'd like to go, but I just really can't. At the end of the day, people respect honesty and genuineness and authenticity. But it's work to get past the ego, to get to that authenticity, and to stay there. In a society that's judgmental, focused on material things, focused on accolades, focused on those kinds of things. That's what we're conditioned to, right? The resistance, the struggle, suffering is the result. The resistance, the struggle, and the suffering. Understanding where the resistance comes from within ourselves is the first key. Why do I feel that? Questioning yourself. Now, resistance, struggle, and suffering, let's apply it to the gym. Or let's apply it to learning a new language. Let's apply it to building bonds with people. It's not always a bad thing. It's the perspective that you take as you're looking at it. If you're in the gym and you want to push yourself, you need resistance. When you're trying to get a degree in whatever it is, the resistance is the effort and you having to sacrifice certain things and push things off because you need to execute the studying. That's a struggle. There's going to be a little bit of suffering in there. But when you frame it that way, under the pretext of in the gym, building relationships, going to college and studying something, or studying anything that's new, the suffering is well worth it. Because the sacrifice is here, there's a little bit of suffering along the way, and then you have those incredible moments at the end where the success is sweet as gold. We have two guests today, and the first guest that we have, I met over 10 years ago in Houma, Louisiana at Snap Fitness, under positive moments of resistance, struggling, and some suffering. A little bit of suffering, not too much suffering. I met Mike Scott in the gym, and his energy was just amazing, you know, and I'm 47 now, so I was probably about 35, maybe 33. But Mike was in there just zoned out, doing his thing, and I just observed him, and he was just zoned out, getting it. And through the course of a couple weeks, you know, because we're consistent in the work and the effort, I started talking to him, you know, and he just had this big infectious smile, you know, and through years of training there, and we never really trained together, but through years of training there, I got to know Mike Scott. And I got to know Mike Scott outside of the gym. And aside from his physique and his build, what was more impressive to me was the individual that he is, and how the trials and tribulations of life, Mike Scott was a warrior, just like the beast he is in the gym. He adapted, he overcame, and he faces it all head on. And he's a great friend and a true brother. I'd like you guys to welcome Mike Scott to the floor.
Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Scott. I was going to save that for last, but my good friend Dale welcomed me in. It's been a great journey between me and this guy. I mean, I can't say I love him like a brother. I want to say I love my brother. You know what I mean? The last time I saw Dale, he kissed me on the cheek. I went home. I told my old lady, I said, Dale, kiss me. I didn't feel no type of way, you know? I mean, that's my brother. And I cherish those moments, man. I really love my brother, and I love the experiences. I love all of the encouragement he gives me. And I just want to talk to you guys, and thanks again for everybody coming and listening in and joining us today. I want to talk to you guys about 3 topics I have today. But first, I'm going to start with who I am. I'm Michael Scott, and I'm actually 46, getting ready to make 47, just as Dale is 47. So it's great to be on the same level. I can't say I'm on the same level as Dale because I'm trying to catch up, bro. I'm trying to catch up, bro. I got to give you your props, man. But yeah, it's great to be on this journey with a magnificent person like Dale, and to have that support from someone like him. It's amazing. But I'll start with who I am. I'm Michael Scott. I'm 46. I'm from Houma, Louisiana, and I love working out. Love it, love it, love it. I love working out. I'm a personal trainer. I'm also a Class A truck driver. I've been driving 18-wheelers for quite a while now, over 10 years. I'm also a physical therapy tech. So I know a little bit about the human body, the human anatomy, muscles and everything. Yeah, so it's fantastic to be on this journey and to have that determination, you know, that determination and that will. But the 3 things that I want to talk about today is, I don't know whether to say friends and family or family and friends. Either way, it's awesome to me because it's deep for me. Someone like Dale, he's always been in my corner when I'm at my best or at my worst. So he's like family, but a friend to me is someone I can always go to, because if I go to my mom, she's gonna be babying me up and try to tell me this and tell me that. If I go to my dad, he's gonna be stern, and if I go to somebody like Dale, he's gonna give it to me straight, but he's gonna be that friend that I need, you know? So I kind of want to say friends and family. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. Everybody has their own perspective on things. But the 3 things that I want to talk about is family and friends. I think it's will and determination, accountability. You and I had that conversation yesterday. That's so important. You know, the things that I've been through in a normal person's life, they would give up easily, quite easily. But I had some difficult struggles coming from where I'm from. I can't blame it on my parents. I can't blame it on my relatives, which I have an older brother and I have cousins and I have friends. We all got influenced to do some of the wrong things. Like, that's natural. I don't blame them for my bad decisions. I don't blame my parents for my bad decisions. I actually blame myself for my bad decisions, and I take accountability for my bad decisions. Now, I came from a 2-parent household, and my parents are still together today, and they've instilled in me some things that I cry about these things on a day-to-day basis. I tear up a little bit because I let them down by making those bad choices throughout my younger years in life. And now that I've made the lifestyle change, got into fitness and got into exercising on the regular basis and sticking to a strict training program, that's brought me to a place where now I wish I could go back and change things. And that's impossible, you know? But as I sit here today, I realize that there are things that I can create and help others change so they won't fall into that, you know, that pitfall or that bad spot or get easily influenced by money or women or drugs or whatever it is. It's embedded in my heart, and I'm compassionate about that also, not just working out and exercising and eating healthy and being a fitness competitor and compliments and having this and having that. I'd rather sit back and meditate and try and figure out how to make the world a better place, how to make our communities safer, and how to instill in others some of the things that's instilled in me, and learn and try to develop some things that I haven't been instilled with. I don't want to hold y'all all day because I can go on about fitness. So what was my second topic? Having will and determination. For me, I started off working out. I've always been into exercising and sports and whatever, when it comes down to being the best, you know, athletically or whatever. But again, I did take a wrong turn, 14, 15 years old. I had 2 kids at 16. And I thought the street life would get me whatever I needed to support them, you know. I was wrong, you know, I was wrong. Today, I realized that there's so many different ways that I can support the needs of my family and myself and get things accomplished, that I'm embarrassed and I feel like I let my parents down because they showed me better, they taught me better. They, on a day-to-day basis, they did things for me in so many ways that I shouldn't have never took that wrong turn, you know? But
Well, when you know better, you do better.
yes, sir, yes, sir. I'm determined to make up for those mistakes if I can. I'm determined to capitalize on all the hard work I've put in with the help of my friend Dale. Man, we're gonna accomplish some great things, I'm sure. Yeah, we're gonna take these challenges that we face, and I don't face my challenges alone. I have some great friends, great friends. It's amazing. My parents are awesome. My family is awesome. I love my family. I have a big family. But I have some amazing friends. It's amazing. When you have genuine people in your life, it kind of turns your world around. People told me at one point in my life, hey man, Mike, I can't believe you. You look good. You made a total 360, and I'm trying to make more. You know what I mean? I want to make more, but I don't want to be glorified in it. I just want to keep on helping others and to impact lives and families, you know. So with that being said, you know, a person like me, a person like Dale, we're going to team up and we're going to work through our nonprofit to create action to change. My fitness business is called Action Fitness Training. And again, this isn't about myself. It's mainly about us all and creating a solution for a lot of the problems that we face every day. We need more safety. You know, we need reassurance that, we're in the right mindset. And when you know better, you do better, and each step of the way, we just got to try and do better, So, like yesterday, Dale and me, we talked yesterday, and just a few minutes of talking to Dale, I was like, God, I got to pump my brakes. I had just finished watching a few of the Connect podcast episodes, and I was like, golly, I was a, what do you call that? Someone who's a kid that's hyperactive. I was hyperactive. As I got older, I slowed down some, and I started realizing you ain't got to do all that, Michael. You know what I mean? Like, chill out. And it's the same way when I'm weightlifting and doing all kind of stuff, plyometrics and cardio and sprinting. And those are the types of training routines that I love, I enjoy, and it stays in my repertoire. But also, just being compassionate and dedicated and teaming up with somebody like Dale, man, we're going to take things to another level, We're going to take things to another level. And I'm determined to reach that goal, So with Action to Change, we're going to develop lots of creative things for the younger generation. I believe we can do it for older people as well, I believe that we all have work to do. I realized yesterday that I still have a good bit of work to do, I just want to slow my roll and learn more and catch myself whenever I get to the point where I'm easily ticked off. Because as a younger guy, I was always the one who got mad fast and wanted to fight everybody. And I was always instigating a fight and everything. I was kind of laid back with it, though. And it was all wrong. It just was all wrong. Nowadays, I'd rather use my creativity for positivity, and to influence people to go in the right direction and to build themselves up and get their character together and get themselves together. And that self-help and that self-work that we have to do is important, So that just leads me to my third topic, which is accountability. I'll go back to where I started from, the mistakes I made. I made some horrible mistakes, bad choices throughout my life. And I don't blame nobody for it. Used to. I'd be quick to, we all do it. We all want to blame somebody for something for just a simple mishap that happened. You know what I mean? Just something simple. You're like, God, man, if you wouldn't have been right there, I could have made that turn. Why not just slow down and stop and crank your AC up and cool off? You know what I mean? Something, anything. Life could be so sweet, But I can't change the past, but I can hold myself accountable, and I can regroup. And I believe that we will accomplish these goals that we set forth to do. I got an awesome team who's working with me on Action to Change. And man, I pitched to Dale, man, and we're gonna hit the ground running, I'm sure. It's just a fantastic situation that I'm in, just meeting this guy over 10 years ago. I feel like every time I see him, every time I talk to him, it's kind of like one day you told me, you said, man, the human connection, when you encounter another human being, it's like magic. And I love that, you know what I mean? Everyone's not like that. So it's not a playground. It's nothing to play around with. We have to know what's what and who's who, and identify who our people are, you know, and kind of stick to, you know, family, friends, but being accountable and showing up like Dale shows up for me, and I'm willing to always show up for him. Man, I think, I know that we're gonna create some awesome things in the near future. And, you know, I wanna thank everybody for coming and joining us today. And I wanna thank you guys for hearing me out, listening to me. I could have started crying if I would have went and started talking about my dad and how I let him down, because I mean, he's an awesome man, you know. Yeah, my parents are, they're great. But yeah, accountability, man. Accountability and willpower, determination. Focus is what I'm all about. You know, I want to always implement and show people when I'm training them, or if I'm someone's mentor, because that's what me and Dell are going to be doing, just mentorship. The mentorship program through Actions to Change is one element of it. Man, the Connect podcast, we're going to integrate these things together. I have a friend named Caesar Gray, Thomas Nguyen. Those two guys, they have the Weights Up, Guns Down there in Houma. All of these programs we want to integrate to build a better community, build safer communities, you know. But it all starts with us. It all starts with each of us as individuals. So being accountable, you know, being accountable and just taking things a little bit slower, having faith, we'll all get through it, you know. Things will get better. We just have to put in the work. Again, I want to thank you all. God bless you guys. Love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it from Magic Mike.
Well done.